What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Sam and I am back with another YouTube video. Today is going to be a little more serious, more personal video. And to be honest with you, it's going to get a little boring because I am going to read a letter that I've written. And because of the anxiety that I want to put aside, I am going to smoke a bowl, a rig, a dab, if you will. Okay, just straight up dab. All right, fuck it. And now this doesn't even look like a normal dab. Okay, I'm sorry. This is some shatter in like a crystal form, rock looking thing, instead of a slab. So I don't fuck. But cheers, okay.
In the kitchen.
A little too cool. And this happens to me every time I want to record a nice milky dab, to be honest. So we're going to heat this up a bit. Unfortunately, my torch broke and now I gotta... I want to say ghetto it, but it's not ghetto because some torches literally are like this, but it's broken. It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to quit. Number one, I hate recording a torch flame. I can't talk over it. I can't. I can't compete with it.
In the kitchen.
I also wanted this to go as fast as possible because this is just an intro. It's supposed to be. Before we get into the boring stuff, or I should say the serious stuff, what have you. But anyway, yeah, let's get into this thing. Okay, we're back. Alright, so this, I haven't really decided if I wanted to show this video to anyone that I wanted to come out to. That I couldn't either face-to-face come out to or directly come out to. But I was asked by my doctor before I go on testosterone to write a letter as to if I understand the effects of tea and why I believe tea is the right treatment for me. And he said, it doesn't have to be long, it could be short, it could just be like, I need to, because blah, blah. And I was like, bruh, I'm a writer. Like, I'm sorry, I get carried away. So, like, it started off small, and then it just grew and grew and grew. So, I'm gonna try to look up, I'm gonna try to, like, not be boring. I really want people to listen to this. And I don't know, not saying learn anything, because there's nothing to learn because I'm in the beginning of my journey. But I'm practically doing this alone. And I know I'm not alone in saying that, but I know that I would have support if I were to come out to people, but I don't have, you know, a reason to. I feel like I don't need to come out to anybody. but then I get the necessary feeling, because especially if they talk to me on social media and they refer to me as female, it's giving me dysphoria every day, more and more. Anyway, let's get into this letter because it's going to be the longest it is already. To whom it may concern, my legal birth name is Samantha Ray Komorowski. All my life, I've gone by just Sam. Over the past 2 years, as I came to terms with who I am, I started calling myself Samuel Ray Komorowski and going by he, him pronouns, and still going by just Sam in social settings. I've been asked to write a short letter about how I understand the irreversible effects of testosterone has on the body, also stating why I believe it is the right treatment for me. I wrote this letter quite a few times, and I can't get it shorter than this. Yet still leaving many details out, and that I am more than pleased to elaborate on if necessary. I've been the way I am for as long as I can remember. At first, it was a tomboy, then it was a stud, and now it's male. Society changing the label, of course. I wasn't sure how I was feeling except disconnected. At the time, it was not that simple. I went through many phases, saw many doctors, and been on many medications, nothing fixing myself. I even tried losing weight. I stopped at a point in time, trying to figure out myself medically, and since enrolling in medical insurance through my employer, I decided to continue my journey, and since I have found myself, which for me was more than necessary. At the time I gave up, I felt like I was back at square one, and brought me more depression. It brought me time, thinking back now. I was able to step away from the doctor's appointments and focus on my mental health and what I really wanted in life, exploring my interests from sexuality to favorite genre of music. For as long as I can remember, I was never happy with anything about myself. Later finding out it was the simple yet complicated fact that I am a girl. I used to try and be one of the boys all my life in public, privately. It was more extreme. During childhood, I would experiment and wear my brother's clothes and put plastic hot dogs in my pants as a penis, urinate out of kitchen funnels. In middle school, I would wear my brother's clothes to school. I got my parents to donate my hair to Locks of Love just so I can have a boy haircut. I still wore a fake penis, and I would use the boys' restroom at basketball practice. I would also experiment with my female friends sexually, making it into a game where I transferred into a boy they liked, all while never getting my period or actually going through puberty. In high school, it got trickier. While never getting my later finding out I wasn't alone. I'm sorry. I felt the pressure from getting bullied, being called lesbian mostly, while not even being out. This was where I forced myself into a hetero relationship all 4 years of high school, and it became my most difficult time, mentally, socially, and physically. I contemplated suicide all the time, and even had to switch schools on multiple occasions. In a nutshell, you can say I never felt like me. I felt like I had to pretend to be something else because God gave me this body and this life, and this is what I'm stuck with. It wasn't until 2013 when I graduated, where I learned what the word transgender even was. That is only because I had nothing better to do. In my downtime, I watched a lot of YouTube and explored the internet, broadening my knowledge and interests, which now, looking back, consists of slowly falling deep into the LGBTQ plus community hole. After watching many videos on being transgender, I found I've related with so many of them when it came to our childhoods. It could have been in Kentucky, New York, California, Europe. It didn't matter. We all had many similarities. Many experiences were more extreme than others, though. I was curious but also in denial. I wonder if this was me, but also had the impression these people were wrong and only attention seeking. I had already thought I was the weird one, and if I were to come out as a tranny before even coming out as gay, because little did I know I am not a lesbian, no one would believe me or even associate with my freak of nature self. I suppressed those feelings and just wanted to be happy without causing any attention, and convinced myself if I was pretty and skinny, I'd be happy. I was going through all of this on my own, still in my relationship in high school I was in. I cheated a lot because I was unhappy and unsatisfied, but I couldn't get pregnant because of what I had thought was PCOS diagnosis turned into Turner syndrome diagnosis. So I was safe. I was still trying to fool myself. If I got married, had a little family somehow, I'd eventually find happiness in the life of mine. After I broke up with that boy I dated for 4 years, in 2014, I stopped all treatments for my health because I had found out I couldn't get pregnant, and it felt as though my world came crashing down even more. I started to focus on myself and loving myself because that's what I had learned I may have been missing was simply self-love, and venturing into the world of females because I came to the conclusion I was probably gay, which is why I wasn't satisfied in my heterosexual relationship, ironically. I used my experience from when I was 10 with my friends as possible factors of me being lesbian, even though it may have not been valid, as it's not for all people. I did know those moments satisfied me more than I ever was in the relationship I claimed to be in. Being that I was told Turner syndrome potentially allowed me to become any gender I desired, I dabbled in that thought a little bit later on because using the term lesbian and gay wasn't right for me. I liked females, I was finally more satisfied, but I was still far from happy, and it oddly had nothing to do with my weight. It was my voice, my breasts, my vaginas, sorry, trigger warning. All things I loved about a female, and I hated about myself. Just as I said, it led me into a deeper hole. Before I knew it, I was becoming a little more comfortable with the thought of maybe being transgender is possible for me, and maybe it's not weird or wrong. Before actually finding a real-life woman to love, I started experimenting online with social media. Not Facebook, because Facebook's very family-oriented. Beginning with pretending I was a boy. I became even more dysphoric about my female body, though. Almost envious about the guys online who just wanted to be a boy at a young age were able to transition to the boy in real life. Being labeled as gay in real life made me strangely feel demasculinized and had me feeling as though I was pretending to be something I wasn't. All over again. I'm sorry if I'm smiling through this. I'm trying to make it as entertaining as possible. Anyway. At this point, I was trying everything in my power to convince those around me how manly I was and how I was the man in the relationship. The one with a woman I was currently in. And every lesbian I know says, there's no man in the relationship. That's the point. And I'm like, I feel like a man. That's because I'm trans. I rhyme. Look at that. This slowly drowned me into the feelings of that I am a man in all aspects other than my anatomy. While I was growing a knowledge of the definition of dysphoria, I was also coming to realization that all of my feelings had been trying to figure out or question I needed answers to was that I didn't hate myself. I wasn't stuck in this loop I believed to be in. I was simply, yet complicated, just dysphoric. At this time, I only had shared these thoughts and feelings with myself because on the internet, I was stealth. I was stealth. I slowly came out online as transgender as I realized what I have had all along was really gender dysphoria. And because oddly so many people I used to watch online came out as transgender too, Luke Whale, Parker, not boy. There's a few others, but I can't think at the top of my head. This is already so long. I'm sorry. And I remember thinking I knew there was a reason I felt like be related with each other, because like I wanted to be their homie, Yeah. Yeah. Oh, even like famous people. But anyway, yes, what is posted online is out there forever. I just felt that it was easier to come out online and be my real self online than in person. But everybody that's watching this knows that basically. If down the line I felt like it was wrong and like I had been feeling like I had been telling myself all those years, when I was like, oh, it's wrong, blah blah blah, I wouldn't have to turn around and tell my family and friends that I was wrong. No one would ever take me seriously then. I finally came to the point when I remembered I had Turner syndrome and malfunction pituitary gland. Mine is flattened by fluid, apparently. That finally has come full circle back to me becoming useful. This means I have yet been through puberty, let alone had a period, other than that one time in the end of my medical mystery study where I was placed on estrogen and progesterone and induced a period, leading me to feel like complete garbage, even more separated from myself. The one thing I thought to believe I was missing led me feeling worse. This is the real reason I gave up on my medical search and treatments. I became insulin resistant, very glucose dependent. I was just worse all around. During that time, I was also more worried about my physical health than my mental health. Since I was 17 without having a period before, my mom too was enough worried. She is a baby boomer and I didn't even want to open the transgender can of worms on her. Sorry, I thought that says out mouse. Can of worms on her because being in and out of doctors for my brain, my weight, my anger, depression, anxiety, it was too much to bear for her, I had thought. I was doing this journey with my mom, also because I was on her health insurance and I didn't want her to have to explain anything to anyone when it was all in my messed up head. As you can see, I still thought my head was messed up because I'm transgender. But technically, it is a medical condition, but we can just change it. As you can see, I suppressed my feelings a lot for the benefit of others. But I did more damage in the sense if maybe I just came to terms with reality sooner, I would not have put anyone I love in the situation I have put them in. I was being selfish, thinking I was being selfless. Fast forward 3 years to 2017. So when I was 17, it was 2015? No, 2014? Whatever. I don't know. To me, already, no. When I was 17, it was like 2014. Okay, anyway. To me, already in my homosexual relationship, which happens to be with the woman I am marrying, she was the first person to want me for me, accept me in all that I am and all that I am not. She came in my life at an ultimate lowest. Being transgender, it wasn't for... She's the first person I was able to physically look at and speak to about my feelings about being transgender. It wasn't for about another 2 years, though. She didn't understand at first, but she was willing to learn. She wanted me to be happy and comfortable with myself. She was also bisexual, which made my life easier when it came to time to socially transition. She is what true love looks like to me. Allowing me to go forward with finding out who I truly am meant more to me than anything has ever had in my lifetime. It was almost as if I felt I missed out more than what my life had to offer me. I needed to feed that curiosity. Maybe I was suppressing my transgender life. Maybe there was actual love for myself ready to be surfaced. So the thought of testosterone came to thought. Maybe if I transitioned and went through proper puberty, I'll find happiness in myself. I already found happiness in life with my fiance. Now I need to come to terms with myself and be really ultimately happy. 6 months later, after being out to her, Miracle, my fiance, I decided to come out to my friends and family. Not having a clue on anyone's reaction, everyone I spoke to had a guess I was already transgender, or that they knew I was different growing up, always trying to be one of the boys, getting dirty, hurt, and always trying to join boys' teams and clubs, specifically including the friends I played that childhood transition game with. My friend was more like Miracle, needed, I'm sorry, my family was more like Miracle, needed help understanding, and became very accepting. I haven't had a better relationship with my family than I have right now. I haven't been comfortable and content with life more than I am right now. I feel I'm more educated and wiser, that I know the difference between a fact and a demon in my head. So being happy isn't saying I'm complete. I just understand I can change the things I can't accept, and I need to accept the things I can't change. For example, my only regret is that I didn't come out sooner, or begin my medical transition sooner. Partially, though, because I wouldn't know the things I know, nor have met the people I've met. The hardships are worth the future triumphs. Socially, I'm doing great. Mentally, I'm getting there. But all in all, I still have dysphoria, and I still want to crawl out of my skin I was born in. Something still isn't right. Being that my family and lover know that I'm transgender, I feel it is safe to begin my medical transition starting with testosterone. As most of my dysphoria comes from my voice, my looks, I'm 26, not 13. Fat distribution and lack of body hair. My chest is one of the worst parts about me, but I am heavier, so man boobs are common, thankfully. Not having a sex drive has me pretty oblivious to my vagina, but as you can see, that's probably a problem in my relationship, but it's not. Don't worry about that. Blah, blah, blah. But since it's not visual to anyone else other than Miracle and myself, then I'm okay with not worrying about it to last. I pack and I buy my chest every day and all day, so aside from binding being unhealthy, packing isn't, and I'm very self-conscious, looking too feminine, and I believe testosterone can alleviate some of those anxieties before going through any surgery. I'd like to take things one step at a time. Nonetheless, surgery is in my future for sure. In the time of learning who I really am and coming out, I did all the possible research on being transgender and learned how to start my medical transition. I learned all the facts, tips, advice, and pros and cons. I watched and read possibly thousands of transitions and detransition testimonies. As a 26-year-old female, identifying as male, I have the largest support system by my side. My biggest supporter is my fiance, who is more than well educated on being transgender as much as I have educated myself. Even though this is my transition, my fiance, being my lifelong partner and lover, will be just as impacted by the effects of testosterone and the gender-confirming surgeries as I will be. So her being comfortable with me transitioning is more than validation and comfortability for me. This is for us as a whole. As much as it is for me, myself, and I, we as a whole, my family too, understands and are aware of the many irreversible changes made by taking testosterone alone, as well as many other steps of medically transition, like gender-confirming surgeries. We are physically, mentally, and spiritually ready to have the real me finally come to surface and see me happy as the real Samuel Ray Komorowski. And then I had her end this. I'm Miracle McCoy Murphy, fiance of Samuel Ray, Samantha Ray Komorowski, is fully aware of the changes brought by testosterone and gender-confirming surgeries, and I fully accept and support him. Miracle McCoy Murphy. Thank you for your time taken to read this. Warm regards, Samuel, Samantha Ray Komorowski. And I'm sorry I didn't look up as much as I wanted to. I'm sorry I started a lot. My mouth is really dry, that's why. Maybe taking dabs before this was not a good idea. I don't know why I was nervous. It was a lot. I'm sorry. But yeah. So, yeah. There was a lot I left out. A lot of my childhood I left out. Not saying I had a terrible childhood, but a lot of people say I did. But I mean, my parents were great. My family was great. My home life was great. I mean, it was. I had to be tough at times. Let's just say. Me and my brother didn't get along all the time. My parents are baby boomers, so their form of discipline was much different than today's form of discipline. But nonetheless, they're great people. I do love them dearly. I really do. But anyway, anyhow, I just want to let you guys know, if I do send anybody this video and you are watching this, take it or leave it, this is me, and I just want everybody to know, but not really. I don't want you to ask me questions, but not really, but like, I don't know, it's just not something I like to do. I didn't do it when I was gay. I made a big old post because I actually didn't feel I was gay. And now I know I'm a guy. I was going to say gay. I know I'm a guy, right? I'm not saying like, oh, I'm afraid. I don't know. It's like, I don't feel like telling anybody. Like, I don't know. Damn. Like, writing this was a lot, but then it wasn't a lot at the same time. It was like, my fingers just... But it took me 3 hours to write this, mind you. So. But anyway, yeah, so I have to write this and give this to my doctor, and which I did. And then, and I didn't save it. This is like the only copy. No, I made 2 copies of mine. I'm not dumb. So, yeah, so I made 2 copies. This is a masterpiece. I'm sorry. I've never written a biography, whatever this is, like this before, so. I don't know. He might be like, oh, you can get phalloplasty top surgery. Hopefully I get peri, but whatever. And testosterone all one day. Boom, boom. Here you go. I went to my appointment. What was it? Wednesday? How long was this video? Oh shit, this long ass video. Sorry guys. I went to the doctor's. The day I posted that video, Wednesday. Yes, and I got blood taken for T, and he told me that I have 2 options, but he didn't tell me my options. I don't know what that meant. But he said I have to write a letter, and then, I'll bring it to him, and we'll talk about my blood results, and once we get him back in blood, blah, 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 he'll refer me to a endocrinologist, because he just wants me to go to an endocrinologist and show them my blood results and see if, it's the right dose, because they're professionals, and my physician is not a professional. He just is willing to help me out. He's a good dude. But everybody on these trans community pages that I have on Facebook are actually not very thrilled with him right now, because I mentioned this to them, but I ended up telling him about me being trans and whatnot, and he's like, and I just want to let you know, this is him talking, and I just want to let you know, this isn't gonna like satisfy your fiance any more than you already can. And I had a mask on, so like, I usually kill people in my face, like alone, like, you're dead. But I couldn't because I had a mask on. I was just, damn, not gonna say it, even though I'm probably already demonetized. Anyway, I'm not even monetized at all, so it doesn't. Where was I going with that? Anyway, yeah. So I was like, I satisfy her enough. Thank you. Like it was that. People call him creep. People call him wrong. People call him not heterophobe, transphobe.
Stuff in the kitchen.
People call him all this stuff, telling him he should get stuff revoked and all this. Ooh, man, being harsh. I thought it was funny. I was like, my reaction, whatever. Anyway, guys, hope you liked the video, and make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and if you liked my story at all, let me know. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, recommendations, tips, stuff, I'm always looking out for shit. I'm in the East Coast, by the way. I'm not really trying to travel, so hit me up and we can talk. Alright, guys. Peace.